Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Balrampur Chini Mills Limited earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and then 0 on your touchtone telephone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anup Pujari from CDR India. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Balrampur Chini Mills Q3 and 9M FY23 results conference call. We have with us Mr. Vivek Saraogi, Chairman and Managing Director, Ms. Avantika Saraogi, Business Lead, and Mr. Pramod Patwari, Chief Financial Officer of the company. We will initiate the call with opening remarks from the management, following which we have the forum open for a question and answer session. Before we begin, I would like to point out that some statements made in today's call may be forward-looking in nature, and a disclaimer to this effect has been included in the results presentation shared with you earlier. I would now like to invite Mr. Saraogi to make his opening remarks.
Thank you, Anup, and good morning to everyone. And thank you for joining us on Balrampur's Q3 9 months FY23 earnings call. I trust all of you have had the opportunity to go through our results presentation, providing details of our operation and financial performance. I will initiate the call with an update on the current developments in the sugar sector, followed by our company's highlights. According to the latest estimates from ISMA, Indian production is now expected to be at around 34 million tons, which was earlier forecast at 36.5 million tons. This is primarily owing to a lower crop or lower yields in Maharashtra, Karnataka, and obviously this is accounting for a little higher diversion owing to sugarcane juice being diverted and be heavy towards ethanol production. Sugar production in Maharashtra is expected to decrease to 12 million from 13.7. UP is predicted to remain flat at 10.2. Karnataka is expected to decrease to 5.6. Others outside these three major states at about 6 to 6.2, making for a total of 34 million ton. The government has already allowed an export of 6 million ton. And just to sort of set the balance sheet in order, opening stock promote would be about 5.6, 5.5 million tons. 340 is our 34 million is our production. Export 6 million. Balance left over 18 million. Consumption between 27.5 to 28. So inventory at best could go up to 5.5 to 5.7 million. So we will probably end this season with a inventory which is similar to the preceding season. On the business front, moving on to the update on ethanol sector. As most of you are aware, India has made remarkable progress in increasing the blend with the petrol ratio to 10%. Government has set a goal of 20% in 25-26. E20 fuel at 84 retail outlets have been launched, and this is showing certain move towards 20% blending. And you're aware how much interest and attention the Honorable Prime Minister is giving to this program. On the business front, the company's results for the quarter were impacted by lower sugar sales volume, and that is owing to a lower quota. Untimely rains in East UP and some delays for our new projects based on late supply of machinery have caused a late start. But in our area, we do not have any diversion of cane. So our initial crushing estimate is our current estimate also. Maybe we are seeing marginal yield which is better than what we expected. So we should be able to close the season. I'm talking promote season. I don't know balance sheet that you'll give. At about 1,030 to 40 lakh quintals of crushing. And we are hoping for a better recovery, and the trend is already showing. On C basis, because that is the only barometer, because we have B heavy and juice diversion. So our C-heavy expectation on recovery this year is better than hopefully better than last year. Coming to our distillery business, I am pleased to announce that Mirzapur and Balrampur units have successfully installed the state-of-the-art distillery facility. Mirzapur is working on a full-fledged 100% syrup diversion. So not even a single bag of sugar is going to be produced in Mirzapur this year. Balrampur is working on a 2/3, 1/3 formula. And everything has been done as per our expectation. So sugar capacity, modernization, Balrampur, Babnan, Balrampur distillery, Mirzapur distillery, Guleria expansion was done last year. So the sum total of this is Balrampur would have a 1050 KLPD installed capacity, which will allow us to produce 35 crore liters on an annual basis. Pramod, this year we are targeting a production of, in the balance sheet, and not in the balance sheet, for the sugar season, around 31.
Including ENA?
Oh, it has to be including ENA.
Around 30.
30.
Around
So
30.
they would be producing 30 crore liters. And next year, with some enhancement of cane, which we are very certain of, we would be able to produce 35. So this would make Balrampur a major contributor and probably the largest supplier in terms of volume delivered to the OMC in the country. In conclusion, we remain committed towards maximum return from each stick of cane crush, which has helped us generate sustainable value for the shareholders. As part of this commitment, I'm happy to inform Board of Directors declared an interim dividend 2.5 rupees per share of rupees 1 each. Further, we've initiated our 6th consecutive buyback, which has commenced on 16th November. As of 10th February, company has bought back 4,55,723 equity shares. So with this, I hand over the mic to Pramod.
Thank you, sir. Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. I hope all of you had the opportunity to go through our detailed results presentation that has been shared with you, wherein all financial performance, including quantitative data, have been given. To ensure that we have a larger portion of time for Q&A, I would like to request the moderator to open the forum. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may enter star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who has a question may enter star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We take the first question from the line of Sailesh Kanani from Centrum Broking. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for the opportunity. Sir, till December, the recovery numbers are very good. Can you give some latest update about the same? How has been the month of Jan and Feb till now on the recovery front?
So, extrapolating to see, as I said in the beginning, at this point of time, we have crossed last year's recovery. The trend is obviously positive, but, impossible to give you figures beyond that.
Fair enough. So second question was with respect to our crushing capacity. Given the availability of cane, if it's not a constraint, what is the upper limit cane which can be practically crushed in a quarter? I mean, can we crush, say, more than 600 lakh quintals? Because I think the last best what we had done is around 590 lakh quintals in 4Q FY20. So given the debottlenecking we have done, so what is the current maximum we can do in a quarter?
So while Pramod is calculating this, I'm going to reply to you on season basis.
Right.
I'm going to reply to our ideal capacity. Our ideal cane crush should be closer to 12 crores, between 11.5 to 12 crores quintals of cane. We are targeting about 1,040 this year. Another 10 means, another crore and half we can crush with this capacity.
Okay. So, yeah.
And for the sugar season, 1,030 is what we have stated. And for the FY23, looks like between 9.25 to 9.5 crores quintals of cane.
Okay. That's helpful. Sir, just some data keeping questions. Out of the total ethanol contract we have entered into 26.75 crore, can you give the breakup of pending volumes under different routes?
Pending volumes.
No,
Yeah.
I think he's
And we would have
asking
done some shipment,
That is given in the presentation.
but that is pending volumes, so there are the total volumes under the FY23. Means I'm assuming if we have done some shipment in the month of December, so that those would be.
We have given the breakup of 26.74 in the presentation.
Right,
Around 8
right.
crores on account of juice, 5.37 is grain based, 25 lakhs is CAV and rest is BAV.
Okay, so those are from. So there is nothing gone from the that is henceforth 26.75 from Jan. The December से कुछ गया नहीं है उसमें मतलब.
Right. This is from 1st Jan. From 1st December.
1st December. So that is the reason I wanted the breakup of that pending volumes, if it's possible to share. Or I can take it offline. Okay, I can take it offline, no problem. Sir, I can also be the split given between domestic and export quantity and realizations for the quarter.
Realization we have stated in the presentation, export was around 37 plus and 6.5 lakh liter was around export.
6.5. Sir, last question from my side. We are operating one of the biggest ethanol production operational facility in India, if I'm not wrong, right? So can you share if there is any headroom for further expansion on that front? Is there any scope for that?
So good question. Depending on the availability of cane, as I said, if we look to crop, we will align ourselves to this based on next year's availability and then take a decision. There is scope to expand, put greenfield juice projects. There is scope for everything.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Sanjay Manyal from ICICI Direct. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Just one question on the varietal front. Is it now clear to say that CO0238 is a waning variety, and if we are changing our sugarcane variety in our catchment area, what would be the proportion of newer variety, and what it would be next season? And is it safe to say that the recovery and the yield would be similar to CO0238?
Avantika?
Yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the question. About the, about varietal balance, definitely it's safe to say CO0238 is a winning variety. And as we stand today, we are already in a very good varietal balance in ratoon as well as plant. We have 4-5 good varieties in the pipeline, and any dependence on any single variety is completely reduced. So anytime we see anything happening, we are free to switch and, within a year itself. Having said that, if it is going to be 4 to 5 varieties, we would not ideally like to take any one variety more than 30%, between 20 and 30%, depending on, the conditions of any particular factory. That's what I can say. And even now, this is under play.
Okay. So, Avantika, his question was twofold. I think he's looking for the recovery impact on the newer variety versus.
Yes. So definitely 0238 is a bench and yield. Definitely 0238 has become a benchmark for us, and we don't want to go below it in any way. So all the varieties that we are now constituting are good in terms of yield and recovery as compared to 238.
Okay. If I may just take this ahead, the newer varieties which are in play, my personal view, the recovery is slightly better.
Yes.
And yield might be slightly lower. So to get our cane, we are looking to do better ratoon management and higher area under cane.
So should I complete the thought on cane now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I just want to say that this crushing season, we have a 15% increase in cane availability. Next year also, as my dad was mentioning, we will increase cane further by another 5 to 15% depending on weather conditions. last year we did very, very good ratoon management practices, which is usually, where East UP lags behind. And therefore our yield and acreage of ratoon have increased this season, and the figures are absolutely coinciding with our plans and predictions. We have kept all insect pest diseases under control, and we are always vigilant so that nothing gets a chance to increase in our area and give us any serious hit. Also, our tissue culture lab is running on full capacity, and our healthy and pure seed distribution program has already begun from it. This will further help us maintain a good varietal balance and disease and insect-free crops in the future.
Okay. Just on follow-up, you mentioned that recoveries are better than CO0238 as of now. So are you talking about the current status of recovery or the peak recovery we got in CO0238?
I give you a view on the current season.
Right.
As of today, we have crossed last year's recovery as on 10th February, let us say. On 12th February. The second part is
I think his question is that 238 at its peak versus other varieties at its peak, correct?
Right.
Yes. So we, like I said, whenever we do any testing, we are benchmarking with 238 performance, which we've enjoyed for such a long period of time. So it's like 238 at its peak, definitely.
Understood. And just, I think last quarter we mentioned that our distillery volume for the FY23 should be somewhere around 22 crore liters. You stand with that guidance, or is there any change given the fact that late start of crushing?
Yeah, your question is extremely right. Because of the late start, we are revising it. Now our expectation is between 20.5 to 21 crores for FY23.
Okay.
So just let me put some more facts on the table, because this will lead to reasonable doubt on certain other and put certain other questions. So we began, let us say, Balrampur distillery because of the late supply after 15th of December. Sugar began after the 7th of December. Now we were 20 days late at least in either or. Mezapur began in about 4th, 5th December. I mean, my dates might be off Pramod by 2-3 days. So these volumes have got shifted to next year, both the cane volume and the distillation volume. So as we spoke, our crushing for the season remains unchanged, maybe 0.5% higher only. Our distillation volumes have been mentioned to you by Pramod, 30 crore plus slightly, between 30 and 31 probably. So these two figures remain sacrosanct. Balance sheet, what doesn't happen in March will happen in April.
Right. Just one last on the sales of bagasse, if it is possible for you to mention what would be the bagasse sale in 9 months FY23 compared to last year, and income tax rate for FY23, 24 and 25. That's it from me.
We'll have to work out and
we'll revert.
Sure, sir.
This year bagasse is sold at a much higher price than last year.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll take that offline. Thank you. Sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Nikhil Gara from Abacus AMC. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So my first question, on the crushing part itself, and specifically for FY23, if we are doing, 77,000 odd TCD per day, then this 9.25 to 9.5 lakh quintal number that you've given, isn't it a bit lower from FY23 perspective?
As I told you, if we began our season late, your FY23 reduces. No, if I had begun on 20th November and I begun on, let's say, 10th of January, that is the reason it is going to be lower this year.
Understood, sir. Got it.
You have lesser number of crushing days in the current balance sheet in this period beginning November to March. November, whatever, to March end.
Understood. And from that perspective, if we are saying that the yield or the crop yield will increase by another 3 to 5% in next sugar season, so that basically sort of helps us go back to the 110,000 or 11 crores sort of a number. Is that possible in the coming year or so?
Yeah, I think we've already explained 1030 plus would be our crushing expectation this year. Avanti has indicated 5 to 15% enhancement next year. So let's say there is a 10% plus enhancement next year. Next year we'll crush 11.5 crore quintals.
Understood, sir. Got it, sir. So secondly, just on the ethanol front, for 3Q, I think in the presentation you have given the realization for C heavy, B heavy. Could you highlight the realization for sugar syrup, as in sugarcane juice and grain based for the quarter?
Grain based is 55.
Okay.
55 and half.
58 नहीं है अच्छा अपने non local.
And that one is 65.6.
So let's just be very clear. There is no need to ask any company in the country on these realizations. Anything which goes from juice is 65.61. Anything which goes from BAV is 60.73. There are two types of rice. One is the full rice, one is the broken rice. FCI, the full rice is 58.5.
58.5.
And the broken rice is 55.52. So this is the realization of these products. Whatever you've tendered, whatever you supply, each product's price has been told to you.
Understood, sir. And generally, as of now, for grain based, we are going to do it through FCI route, right?
Yes, largely.
Got it, sir. And sir, just my last question, specifically again from the overall inventory perspective, and if I see the quarter numbers where the change in inventory is, I think, close to around 230 odd crores in this particular quarter. So if you can just break this up for us in terms of how much has been due to sugar and how much has been due to ethanol.
This is already given in great detail in the presentation. We are holding around 15.85 lakh quintals of sugar and around 49 lakh liters of alcohol.
So was there any major change from a quarter-on-quarter perspective in ethanol for this particular? Because I think we are going through juice route, so we might be storing more B-heavy molasses as of now, and maybe using it.
Whatever inventory we are holding, be it C heavy, B heavy, alcohol, sugar, all stated in the presentation.
Okay, sir.
Slide 27, you will find all the details.
Okay, sir. I'll take this offline maybe. Thank you so much for answering.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Anupam Goswami from Bob Caps. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hi.
Yes. Yes, please.
So my first question is on the cost of production that we have seen. I'm guessing, as my understanding goes, because we had a late start and a low volume, so that's why fixed cost absorption did not take place. So this will delay till April, and do we see a further extension of crushing days in April?
Yes, absolutely. So we see a spillage and therefore a much larger crushing in the FY24 balance sheet than we saw in FY23 balance sheet in April and May.
Right. And if you look at season-wise, so now what the cost of production is at 41 or so, that will go down when this whole volume also picks up, right? Am I correct on that?
100%.
Yeah, you may refer slide 22. Last year also, the cost of production was 4,100 at the end of 9-month period, which went down to 3,400.
Very good. Good point.
Right.
So Pramod's taken great pain. His team has taken great pain in making the presentation.
Absolutely, sir. My next question on the strategy side, where do we see the mix of ethanol from all the sources? And given that, what sort of margin we looking at in the distillery segment?
Margin will be a function of realization, which is being fixed by the government of India on an annual basis. And if you are comparing the distillery margin which we achieved few years back, that is not going to be the case, because in those years molasses was practically carried at zero value.
So, if I may add, Pramod, the entire business is to stay inside the company. It is a sectoral allocation.
So, right, sir. I'm talking about excluding the transfer prices. If we look at exclude the transfer prices, given my understanding, sugar juice has a lower margin, whereas grain is also slightly lower than the C heavy also. So where do we see in the mix now that we are doing sugar juice as well as grain base? Where do we see those margins compared to the last years or earlier years, excluding the transfer prices?
Totality.
Sorry?
Totality. Yeah, Anupam, he has said again and again that this business needs to be seen from the totality perspective. The kind of realization which we are getting in sugar or we might get in future will be a function of how much of sugar is getting diverted into ethanol.
Right.
But even at the same time, see, it's early days. It's the first in the country kind of a distillery when no sugar is made. So though we are tracking the data very closely, I'm pretty certain that at the season, the distilleries will throw up a, pleasant surprise to what we thought.
Right.
So I'm not going to say that juice is going to be definitely lower than B heavy or grain is going to be lower. So it's all work in progress, and we will see how things go.
So down the line, let's say in 2 years, when we have a industry diversion also much higher, so the vision is to have a higher sugar realization at like say 38, 39 sort of, and that balances out the whole.
Yeah.
Right.
And if juice price government actually seriously interested in getting 20%, they will have to incentivize from
increase the price. Yes.
Yes. So if that happens, more juice at a lucrative price means lesser sugar, means a better sugar balance, etc. So we remain structurally and fundamentally positive as we proceed into the future, both on the macro perspective and our Balrampur micro perspective. So again, I'll just take the audience through the philosophy of our company. Avantika has laid threadbare in front of you the kind of attention, tissue culture lab, the kind of attention and the focus we are paying to cane. We have a centralized team which is out there and looking at all the 10 factories on a microscope basis. Our challenge is getting answered partly this year, and hopefully as we proceed, it should be very beneficial. So if we are able to go up 15% this year, I don't think any company, and this is my guess till now, Pramod, any company will increase that much. As we proceed, if we keep getting our cane, which we are most certain we will, you will see how the business will flourish, both in terms of volume, in distillation, as well as sugar. And we'll also be able to achieve economies of scale. Fixed costs will get reduced. So we feel very positive that whatever ethanol one makes will get picked up at good prices. As we proceed, prices keeps getting lucrative. That also is a tailwind towards sugar. And sugar price with this I would call this inventory bone-thin inventory. With this bone-thin inventory of 5.5, I feel that our price realization from now up to October should also gradually trend upwards.
Okay, sir. So my last question is, what is the price realization right now in Feb-Jan quarter?
Current almost 35.5. 35 half ballpark currently.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll join back in the queue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Rajesh Majumdar from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir, and thanks for taking my call. I just had two questions. One is the Guleria expansion. So when will it be ready for us in terms of the sugar season?
Guleria expansion got commissioned last year.
Sorry, Kumbhi, the one you recently announced. The Kumbhi
This
expansion.
will be ready and up next season.
November 23.
November 23, next season.
So 23-20 sugar season 23-24, it will be fully operational. Is that correct?
Full on.
Okay. And so my second question is more of a strategic kind of question. How long do you see the fixed pricing on ethanol to continue? Because beyond 20% blending, there is still not much visibility in terms of flex fuel vehicles and so on. So will this fixed pricing scenario for ethanol continue till eternity, or there is some thing which can happen in between? And what is the kind of game plan as a company we have in order to counter that?
So I would just begin by saying even life cannot continue in eternity. So having said that, basically let's understand the dynamics. Today, in this year, Pramod, I think we'll struggle to go to 12% blend for the year, correct? As we proceed to take this blend upwards, you need juice diversion, for which you need not only fixed pricing, but enhanced level of the current fixed pricing. I would call it incentivized pricing. So to take you to 20 is going to be a task. To get to 20 is very tough. It's not easy, trust me. You need a lot more capacity in place. That's first. So to answer your first question, that when government achieves 20, will it dump you? So first of all, achieving 20 is 3-4 years away to my mind. Then when you achieve 20 and you have to be at 20 is not easy again. There's 1 year, suppose there's a drought, something, again a challenge. Thirdly, I am very clear that the government is on this move for improving flex fuel vehicles. There is incentive, there is a PLI scheme, there's a lot of work going on with the auto manufacturers. There will be hybrid vehicles, there will be flex fuel vehicles. Government is talking of, Pramod, home stoves, what is that? Cooking gas. There's going to be multiple uses government is thinking of. So I would feel that this formula is here to live.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
It's also important for this to live because Government of India earlier used to give export subsidy. Now, if your production comes under control, that money does not leave the government hands. Two, this pricing is to ensure even cane price payment. So that also being the mandate of any elected government cannot go off the table. So farmer is a very important part of not only our regional economy, but of the political capital of the country. So that again won't go off the table. Three, this is paid for by the consumer, and today seeing crude and exchange prices, it is not a negative item for the OMCs. Four, it is improving the carbon footprint. Our Honorable Prime Minister has given the details of the number of carbon credit or carbon footprint savings we have achieved owing to this. So it is foreign exchange positive. So with all these 5 factors in play, I don't believe that, your anxiety is my anxiety.
Right, sir. If I'm permitted, just one more question. If at all you take a decision to expand ethanol capacity further, would it be concomitant upon the increase in the juice pricing, or will you do it nevertheless?
So that's very important. Economics is the reason why you would do business. So we'll wait and watch.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Nishant Sharma from Nuvama Wealth Research. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. One question from my side is more of a confirmation that the export sales during the quarter was 6.5 lakh quintal.
Sorry, you come again, please.
Just
if you're on a speaker mode, switch to handset, please. We can't hear you. And repeat your question.
Am I audible now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. So just wanted to have a breakup of sales, sugar sales for this quarter out of 20.26 lakh quintal to exports and domestic breakup.
We have given that 6.5 is the export.
Okay. And sorry?
Balance is domestic.
Okay, understood. And out of our total quota of about 1.9 mil, out of our total exports quota, what is the left which is yet to be delivered?
So out of 1.98 lakh tons of export quota, we have contracted for physical export of 1.4 lakh tons. Out of that, 65,000 already delivered within March. Balance will be, within December, and the balance may be within March. And for the balance 58,000 ton of quota, we have exchanged with domestic release.
Okay.
Do you have any more questions, Mr. Sharma?
No, thank you. I'll just one last question, sir. What's your view on the UP state advised price? Is there likely increase in that, and when is this likely to be announced?
Your guess is as good as mine. Having said that, it should have been announced. It's not yet announced. Our view is it should not increase, but that's a very personal view. The decision should come within February, I hope.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll fall back in you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Achal Lohade from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Sorry, I'm repeating the question. You talked about exports. Is it 65 or 55? 65,000, right?
65.
65. And if you could help us with the realization as well, sir?
Achal, we have said that export is 37 plus.
37 plus. Got it. This is very helpful, sir. Sorry. And second, can you help us understand the cane mix in terms of varietal mix? Is it possible to get some more color as to how it is currently for sugar season 23? And, in a couple of years' time, how do you look at the mix in terms of different varieties as we speak, whatever best guess we can have?
So, Avantika did give a broad heads up. It's not possible to give you this data right now. We'll have to wait for another year.
Okay.
But trust the hard work going on and believe in it.
Absolutely, sir. And, sir, you, in a passing remark, you mentioned about cooking gas. Was that, is it anything to do with the ethanol, or it's basically the biogas you're talking about?
No, ethanol can be used for the cooking purpose also.
I'm telling you, the government mandate, the level of the government's desire to sort of keep taking ethanol and keep building this, if I may say, fuel as a very serious player in the total fuel mix. There's experiment for mixing with diesel also going on. So there is a lot of sort of consumption way in as we see the future.
Can I add to that? There is also DG sets being powered by ethanol, big research happening. Kirloskar, I think, is already making DG sets for ethanol driven. And, as much of fossil-based carbon can be replaced by biocarbon, I think that is the way that the government is thinking.
Absolutely correct.
Any ballpark number with respect to this cooking gas? Because it's something new, I presume, which is like ethanol.
So if I may, first you have to get to 20% there. So we are talking of possible consumption points or new consumption areas. So one must be fulfilled to go to the other, I guess. But government is seriously contemplating.
Got it. And just your last comment with respect to the 320, I know the government is pushing very hard, but what about the existing fleet? Can can they really scale up to E20 or, as you said, 12% is also the challenge as this year like this?
The existing vehicles की बात करें. नहीं. Are you talking about existing vehicles?
Yes, existing.
I think Avantika, 1st April 23, all vehicles should be compatible to 20%.
And what is the extent of work which is going on? You think that is likely, or you think that is too early to call?
No.
Achal, not able to hear you clearly.
No?
Can you switch to a handset mode and talk, please, Achal?
Yeah. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. So what I wanted to check about this E20, in terms of the existing vehicles, you saying that the mandate is to have all the existing vehicles ready for E20. Is that, have I heard it right, sir?
From 1st April 23, correct.
But,
not the two-wheelers.
Not the two-wheelers.
Okay. Can go to
two.
Sorry,
you were saying something, sir.
Yeah, two-wheelers might be slightly lower.
Right.
But otherwise, four-wheelers 20%.
Understood. And that preparation is on, according to you, in full scale, right?
Yes.
Because we haven't heard as much about it. Okay. Got it. And with respect to the cane price, if you can give us some sense, have you seen this kind of a delay in the past, or this is the first time you've seen, cane price being announced in the month of February, for UP?
It is rather late. I don't remember having seen cane price this delayed.
Yeah, there was 1 year in
1 year it was delayed.
cane price was declared in February.
But how is that of relevance? You want to see the cane price, no, not the date.
No. I'm just trying to get some sense. Okay, sir, just last question, if I may, with respect to, as we speak, what is the increase in the cane crushing volume? I know you have already given the guidance, but just wanted to understand the number till yesterday. How's the cane crushing volume in terms of YOY and the recovery rate on a YOY basis? If any number you could share.
No, we would not like to share the number till yesterday. For the quarter ended, we have already shared. We have already shared our expectation for FY23
Exactly.
as well as for the complete season.
And we give you recovery trend. We told you started late. There is no point getting into daily figures, no?
Mr. Lohare, may we request you to return to the queue? There are several participants waiting for their turn. Thank you. We'll take a next question from the line of Chandra Mowling, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
So what is the ethanol sales till now? I mean, in the last 9 months, you talked about the financial year expectation is about 21,000 crores. You have reduced it from previous 23. But what is that you have till now, done till in the last 9 months?
9 months we have supplied around 12 crores liters.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's all from me.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Sailesh Kanani from Centrum Broking. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir, again. So just wanted to know your thoughts on the budget announcement on CPG side. There are some incentives which the government has announced. Now I understand we have entered into a contract for our press mud. But are there any plans, anything on the drawing board with respect to the changing opportunities on that front?
To be very honest, we've not seen very great opportunity. Not looking at that side so much.
Okay, sir. That's all from my end. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Sandeep Sabharwal from asksandeepsabharwal.com. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my question is that companies like Praj have also talked of possible blending of ethanol with diesel using some agents, etc. So, have you heard of that and anything going on that front?
So it's called a binder. So Praj and others, they are on, I would say, maybe it's very close to completion.
Okay, because diesel is a much bigger market, so that could open up much more opportunity.
Diesel is huge. So I'm saying if diesel, even if there 2% blend in diesel, you don't have the capacity. So I therefore don't worry on the consumption point. I'm not worried on the quantum if one produces, and there's no doubt that whatever we produce will be lifted at attractive prices.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I now hand the floor back to the management for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. We hope that we have been able to answer all your questions satisfactorily. Should you need any further clarifications or would like to know more about our company, please feel free to contact us. I once again thank you for taking the time to join us on this call. Thank you.
Thank you, members of the management. On behalf of Balrampur Chini Mills Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect.